Hi everyone, my name is Isabella and today I will be talking about how wood construction battles the climate crisis through carbon storage. Firstly, what is wood construction and carbon storage? Wood construction is the framing and building of walls and flooring from wood such as lumber, plywood, and timber. Some wood building systems include tall wood buildings, mid-rise buildings, and bridges. Carbon capture and storage is the separation and capture of carbon dioxide from the emissions of industrial processes prior to the release into the atmosphere and storage of CO2 in deep underground geologic formations. Since wood is the only renewable building material harvested from responsibly managed forests, wood helps mitigate the effects of the climate crisis by reducing greenhouse gases through carbon sequestration. During the growth phases of trees, trees draw carbon from the atmosphere, release oxygen back to the atmosphere, and use the carbon to produce wood and leaves. Let's look at the issue in the construction industry. Environmental sustainability has become a global concern. According to the Canadian Wood Council, each year people contribute 8 billion metric tons of carbon to the air by using energy daily. Construction procedures and materials such as concrete and steel can harm the environment. A study from SUNY College of Environmental Science and Forestry analyzed that overall, steel-framed homes and concrete-framed homes use more energy, impact global warming, and have more air, water, and solid waste emissions than wood-framed homes. It may be difficult to think of wood as a sustainable material since it's associated with deforestation. However, using wood instead of steel or concrete reduces environmental impact as well as construction and operation costs compared to concrete or steel that has a huge carbon footprint. Communities and governments seeking to address the carbon balance are not always aware of the role wood products plays in minimizing impacts in the environment, and the attributes of wood are not being recognized in the design of sustainable communities and building. Let's take a look at harvesting wood. When a tree is cut down, the carbon is separated during its life cycle and removed from the atmosphere for decades once it's placed in a dormant state. When the wood from trees is used to make building materials, the CO2 is sequestered in those materials, preventing the release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The carbon is only released back into the atmosphere when the wood is burned or when it biodegrades. Wood biomass burned to produce energy also substitutes for fossil fuel energy and reduces fossil fuel-based energy. So why should we build with wood? In short, wood is safe, strong, sophisticated, and sustainable and durable. Wood products such as LVL have a small carbon footprint during their life cycle and can be practically used in all buildings to store carbon. As seen in the diagram on the left, wood-based building materials require less energy to produce, emit less pollution to the air and water, contribute lower amounts of CO2 to the atmosphere, are easily disposed of or recycled, and are derived from a renewable resource that is trees. Additionally, the construction sector can support positive developments by using wooden materials that capture carbon for their entire lifespan. For example, timber products locks approximately 1 ton of CO2 per 1 cubic meter of wood, and the dry mass of wood is 50% carbon taken from the atmosphere and does not contribute to the greenhouse effect. To summarize, some important attributes of wood construction include lower greenhouse gas emissions by using less energy-intensive materials, lower building costs with cheaper materials, reduced on-site labor, and quicker construction time, being structurally comparable to concrete and steel buildings in strength, efficient and effective solution for our increasing housing needs, and proven fire-safe for builders, occupants, and fire service officials. And lastly, the future goal. The 2030 Challenge in Architecture and Construction aims to produce carbon-neutral buildings in 2030, reduce fossil fuel consumption in all new buildings and major renovations by 80% in 2020 and 90% in 2025, lowering CO2 emissions. A second strategy is forest certification, looking for certified wood to ensure it comes from a sustainable forest for green buildings. Thank you for listening to my presentation today. I hope this gave you some insight on wood construction and carbon storage.